It's Saturday, July 18th, 2015, and I am JTG, James Thomas Green, and today is the open house at the MBARI, the Monterey Bay Aquarium's research arm, and I'm going to go take a tour, and I'll show it to you here. Very family-friendly environment here. Lots of art. This is the Rachel Carson, named after the author of the classic book Silent Spring. And those are the smokestacks, or the steam stacks, of the Moss Landing power plant.
I would say it's got better. So the main wire there, that on the surface, tracking and following the constellation of bees. So I'll show you. Already gone out. Very difficult for us because it needed help. We'll sit on the surface, transfer some data. Yeah, so I'm Brian. This is our long-range autonomous underwater vehicle. This is an upper water column biogeochemical monitoring vehicle. It goes down to 300 meters. And it's interested in finding phenomena in the ocean related to biogeochemistry, like plankton blooms, harmful algal blooms, and it's autonomous in that you take it off of our boat. We've got the RV Paragon here with another long-range AV loaded up.
Oh, the balloon?
You take that out about a kilometer or two, and
it was a not very good
pull the vehicle off the side.
The balloon up before it was blowing.
For a week or two, and this vehicle can also hover in the midwater column and track the water patch, and in that case it can stay out a little bit longer than just a week or two.
So I noticed it can go for about 1,000 kilometers. So would you like let it loose here and pick it up near Seattle? Is that kind of
something you could do? Yeah, or you could leave it out for a long time, waiting for some sort of event to happen. A big phytoplankton bloom, an upwelling event. You could have it tracking a fronts the whole time. It's sort of up to the scientists what application they want to do.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Need another drink?
Move data off the AUV to the wave glider. Sure. And when the wave glider gets close to the shore, we can use cell phone focus to get the data back to shore in an inexpensive way. Nice. If we're way out at sea,
is that kind of similar to the blimp that they have in the pool?
I didn't see the blimp, but just figure cell phone data plans aren't that expensive. The other way we move data is through an Iridium satellite connection.
Okay.
So just sending every 5 minutes, here's my location, here's a little bit of sensor data, runs up about $100 bill, $100 a day, right? So this Iridium, very reliable, you can get it anywhere on the globe, it just costs you. Okay. So if we have data that's super important and we're way out at sea, we'll send it back that way, spend the money. If we can hang on to it for a while, we'll send it back through the cell phone antenna. And then we have another Iridium that this is called a RUDIX connection. So RUDIX is an acronym, I forgot. Router, I forgot what it stands for. But basically this is a different kind of data connection. It's like a really slow internet connection. So it uses TCP internet, and you can basically log into one of the Linux computers. You're just not going to move a lot of data. It's like 2,200 baud, right? Usually about 1,200 baud. But if you're just going to start a command or stop something and restart it, or look at a log file. So what we do is we, from shore, log into a computer that's on board here. Then we log in through another modem that's talking acoustically to a robot 4,000 meters down on the seafloor. Also kind of a slow connection, but when we get the wave glider to look for an acoustic, we ping, 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 and when the robot at the bottom responds, we hunt around to get the right signal strength. And when we sit in a spot, then we can open up a modem connection. Kind of like the old phone modems, only slower. And then we can log in from the wave glider down into a robot. Right. Go ahead. So it just gives us a way to talk to a robot without having to write a lot of complex software drivers. We can just open the terminal. So that's why we have a specialized modem.
So is this more of a communications relay in itself than
We use it in that way, but it also has a suite of science sensors on it.
Oh, okay.
So it's got an ocean acidification package back here that's measuring dissolved carbon dioxide and pH. We've got a dissolved oxygen sensor that's measuring how much oxygen is in the water. It measures salinity and temperature.
So this is sort of like the Mars Observer is to the Curiosity rover.
Yeah.
A relay. Okay.
With some science data coming.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of coordinated robotics with assets that are beneath the water. So we use the acoustic modem to talk to the AUV when it's down. And we'll have even a little suite of AUVs, sometimes up to 3, doing some coordinated robotics to maybe study like the algal blooms and how that's made.
Right.
So that's actually got like a speaker that, you hear it through audio speaker.
It's high frequency. It kind of sounds like kind of a trilling sound. Data rates are pretty slow. But what we can do, because we have a sophisticated version, is we can actually get the bearing range. So not only can we send data, we can tell where it is. And that lets this follow, say we've got the AUV floating and moving with the water current. And it's basically being a tag for a certain water current and measuring the information. Then the waveguide on the surface is following that, and it's sending a message to another AUV saying, do a large pass to get the contextual data around this smaller phenomenon, right? And that's what the scientists want.
Cool.
What's your background?
I went to Cal Poly.
Me too.
I went computer science and electrical engineering. I didn't finish my computer science, but I was really close.
Okay.
I did finish my electrical engineering. I wound up having a job. So I finally said, all right, I'm done. And we use it for science. So we've got scientific sensors on here.
Environmental sensors.
Have you heard of ocean acidification?
I have.
So one of the packages we have is called the ocean acidification package, and it measures PCO2, which is the partial pressure of CO2 in water, and it measures pH at a very precise level. So it's doing long-term measurements to see where the changes are. Now, different water masses in the bay, this is a signal that fluctuates, so you look year on year at the measurement where you can assess whether we're really seeing a change. CO2 goes up, pH goes down. We've got salinity and temperature being measured. We've got dissolved oxygen. We have a fluorometer that basically measures chlorophyll fluorescence, so we can tell how much plant matter is in the water. So especially around an algal bloom, we get signature. That same sensor does 2 channels of backscatter, which tells us about particulate matter in the water. So we get a sense of, is this really clear water, or is there a bunch of stuff growing in it? We have a bay in the very back that we're going to be adding a water sampler. So we'll be able to do targeted water sampling. We're very interested in how this algal bloom is developing. We might want to get some early precursor samples. And then when the bloom is really hot and active, get some more. And that'll be all sensor-triggered water sampling.
Will that be for later recovery, or it won't be onboard an analysis?
Well, we have an onboard analysis robot that's being engineered to go on the front of that AUV. So MBARI's putting their research money in that. When that gets done, it may be asked to be put on the wave glider, and it would probably not be put up top. it would go, the sub is separated by 4 meters, so it's down. We also have a tow body that drags behind. We would pipe at the water sample.
We're out here.
So it's down a little bit. Then as far as the way this works, it's solar powered for the sensors and the computers that read the sensors. And it uses wave energy, so it's got a float that gets pushed up by a wave, and the sub resists that upward pull, and these fins are spring loaded, so when it resists, it cocks the fins, and then when the wave glider comes down the other side of the wave, the fin restores back with the spring and that moves it forward. So the whole wave glider is being drug around by the sub. But the smarts are up at the top, so the top tells the sub which way to turn its rudder. So we can tell it from shore, follow this path, and then the wave energy determines how fast it is.
But it seems like it's built for long-term missions.
That's right.
Right? Low power.
Low power, so access to the sea. In fact, we want to be able to take lower cost vehicles like this and have them go out over the horizon.
Do you store energy so it's operational all the time?
This is remote controlled and it's got enough smarts in it to make decisions on its own. Tom O'Reilly over here has built innovative software that has onboard intelligence and is told to
Like
be
a Tesla car,
yeah.
drives itself. So this down here helps you go up and down the way.
Well, the waves make the float go up and down, and that tension moves these paddles when they pull up, and then when it springs back, it drives the subs forward, and that drags the.
So it goes like this.
Yeah.
And there's a rudder on the back, so via satellite, you can tell it, go to Anuel Island, and the onboard computer figures out what you use to go there.
And does it get hit by the rock?
We keep it away from the shore.
We say don't go to the island, go offshore the island.
Yeah, right. So if the waves don't overpower it, then what happens if you get
It does pretty well in heavy seas.
It does?
Recent
Because they can get to
camera
Anuel,
footage
right?
shows that it is getting slapped around.
Is it?
Yeah, but it's built for it. It's very durable.
Did you guys design this?
We did not. There's a company in Sunnyvale called Liquid Robotics. We've worked with them since they were a startup.
Yeah.
So we've helped give them requirements.
Right.
We've done testing.
And what's your sensor?
It's got what's called a chlorophyll fluorescence. So it shines a little light,
Yeah.
and plants will fluoresce back a certain color, and it can then measure how much plant material is in the water. And these little algae are part of the food chain. So if there's algae growing, then there's a bunch of other animals. And
So did you guys?
these supply power for the computers that we have and our science.
All right, well, this is the Doc Ricketts ROV here at MBARI. ROV stands for Remotely Operated Vehicle. So this is an underwater submarine, but it's unmanned, so that people don't go down in it. So it's totally robotic, and we operate the ROV from the ship itself. We have a tether that goes to the vehicle, and so we never leave the umbilical, so we're always tied to the ship. But that gives us all of our power down to the vehicle. So we send voltage down to the ROV, and that gives us our power to the vehicle itself. It's electro-hydraulic, which means there's an electric motor that drives a hydraulic pump, and the hydraulic pump runs all of our thrusters and our arms and all of our tooling down here that we need to work with. We can go to 4,000 meters with Doc Ricketts. That's 2.5 miles, and we do that quite often. The vehicle as it sits here weighs 11,000 pounds. But in the water, we're neutrally buoyant. So actually, I should say we're actually positively buoyant. So we actually float up. We always want to be positively buoyant, so when we're moving along the bottom, we have to thrust it up, move the water up to keep us down, because if it was the other way around, we'd stir the bottom up all the time. So, and what you can see is we have these 2 big arms. These are the main cameras here. We carry 15 cameras. The yellow portion is the flotation, and that's what floats all the structure of the vehicle.
Is it an air tank?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It's called syntactic foam.
Okay.
Syntactic foam, even though it's called foam, it's hard.
Yeah, you just, whatever you do
But
with your arm.
syntactic foam is an epoxy mixture with glass, micro glass spheres in it. And the hollow glass spheres are like styrofoam, and it's full of air pockets which floats. Much the same, but it's non-compressive, so it won't crush the glass.
Can you talk about the arms that you... I heard you talking a moment ago about the
Yeah,
arms.
sure. The two big manipulator arms, we use those arms for many different sampling procedures or anything we need to grab. We can grab rocks. We can take core samples. That's what these are for. The manipulator would grab the core sampler, push it down into the mud, and then the mud stays, and we pick it back up and set it right back in here. So we use the manipulator for many different things.
And you're saying that one's the strong one and that's the weak one.
Yeah, this is an arm made in Davis, California called Schilling Robotics. Very great dexterity. Both arms are what's called spatially correspondent. So, and it's a master-slave relationship. So the master is the controller up on the ship, and these are the slaves. So being spatially correspondent, wherever you move the master, the arm does. So on this one, there's the big master. I'm holding it like this. If I move my arm out like this, the arm moves. So it mimics everything I do. That's what's spatially correspondent. So this arm, there's seven. Both of these arms have 7 functions, and that's what mimics the human arm. So we have what we call swing, azimuth. We have shoulder, elbow. The wrist, the human wrist is amazing because it takes 3 hydraulic joints or mechanical joints to mimic it, which is yaw, pitch, and rotate. We have all 3 there. So here's yaw, here's pitch, and rotate. And then number 7 is jaw, open, and close. So those are the 7 functions that run the joints that run the arms. This one's very powerful, very strong. We can reach down and lift about 1,000 pounds with it. About 300 pounds totally extended. This arm's not quite as powerful, but the cool thing about this arm is it actually has feedback. And so what the feedback does for us is the master controller has motors in it, and so it will fight against you if you bump something. So for instance, if we did take this core, and let's say there was only an inch of sediment and hard rock, just like the cement here, we'd push, we can't see that, we don't know it, we'd push down and the arm would stop. The master up on the ship would actually stop. We could feel that, we can't go any harder. So we know there's something hard under there.
So the master can sense.
We can sense that. The change, as the hydraulics flow through it, it senses a difference in the flow rate, and it knows it's stopping, so the master stops. This arm doesn't have that, so if we did this with this arm, when we were in the water, it'd push into the rock and the vehicle, it'd lift the vehicle up. So that's why the 2 arms, and why they're different. And it's nice to have 2 arms to be able to pass things back and forth if you need to. If one arm dies in the water, you still have another arm to continue to work. So that's Doc Ricketts in a nutshell.
Can you speak about who Doc Ricketts was?
Doc Ricketts was the biologist who sailed with John Steinbeck to the Gulf of California in Mexico on the ship, the Western Flyer. And he was the biologist that did all the work and from all the sampling they did down in the Sea of Cortez, and it's written about in the books that Steinbeck wrote.
Thank you.
So these are our autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs. This is a C4 mapping vehicle. It's rated to 6,000 meters deep. It's got about a 16-hour endurance at 3 knots. So this vehicle descends to about 50 meters off the seafloor. We'll run kind of a lawnmower pattern, collecting sonar data. Comes back up, surfaces. We can recover the vehicle, download the data, recharge the batteries in about 5 hours, and then repeat the whole process.
This measures the size of any particles in the water, but are those particles flying through and just dirt or sediment? We have optical instrument that looks out the bottom of the vehicle.
I see. How does it? I mean, I know. Yeah, no, but how?
Anywhere you can get us a ship, we'll take them.
Thank you.
And so that was quite an interesting afternoon here at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, MBARI. MBARI sounds like a Star Wars character. Don't forget to like this page, comment down below, share it with your friends, and let me know what you'd like me to do next. And don't forget to contribute to my Patreon page so I can keep making videos like this. Thank you for joining me. I am JTG. That's all. Thanks for watching that video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Click over here to support me on my Patreon page, and share this video with your friends. Like it and comment and tell me what sort of videos you'd like to see me make in the future. Thank you for your support. I'm JTG. That's all.